Hi all, hope all is well. So long story short, I actually fancy doing another video just because I can. Not on this game that I'm playing, just rambling, I guess. So what I was actually thinking about is how I've recently started reading the manga Berserk. After all this time, I've only just started it, so I can't comment much. But basically, I was thinking to myself, Griffith is super cool. And then I thought to myself about various other people that are villains that are actually like really cool in their respective series. So I thought I'd just ramble on about lovable villains. So while I'd love to comment on Griffith, I have literally not finished the prelude yet. So I'm still within the. I think I'm on the last part before chapter one, or more so volume one. Chapter one, before chapter one kicks in. So realistically, I'll start with who I consider to be one of the most lovable villains, and that would be Light Yagami. Because when you read Death Note, you look at it from Light's perspective and you think, oh man, this guy's really cool, he's really smart, he's able to outwit several people and get to his ambitions. And then as the series goes on, you realize he becomes more and more deranged. He basically has the equivalent of a god complex. In the literally the end of the, I'm fairly certain it's the end of the first episode. He's like, I can become a god, and then from there it spirals into the most crazy stuff. But of course, the reason why he's so lovable is because he's something of a theme within lovable villains is usually a level of charisma, which is something that Light Yagami definitely has. So as the series goes on, you see him do loads of really cool sequences. Personally, my favourite one is when he finds out the name of one of the detectives that is after him later on in the series. I think it's episode 7 in relation to the anime, and I don't remember what it is in relation to the chapter for the manga. But there's a detective after him called Ray Pember, and he does this really cool shenanigans with the Death Note. Because I forgot to mention that like Yagami is the protagonist of Death Note for those who don't know. But basically, he gets this part of the Death Note and does like mental gymnastics to choreograph everything so that this guy helps unwittingly the ability for Light to take his identity to get his name to be able to put him in the Death Note. So that's really cool. Another one I was going to mention was Vegeta, because for anybody who's a Dragon Ball fan, yeah, Vegeta is really cool. He's got, when you first see him, he's just got this energy of just like, I don't give a damn. But realistically, he's not really a villain. Realistically, he starts as a villain. The beginning of Dragon Ball Z, I think it's the first season and part of the second season of Dragon Ball Z is literally Vegeta comes along, fights Goku, gets his butt kicked. So, and then from there on, they sort of become mutual allies slash rivals. There's also the time later on in the Majin Buu saga where he does become villain again because he accepts the powers of Majin to be able to beat Goku. But that's more done out of his rivalry than actually wanting to kill him. He goes from wanting to defeat Goku to wanting to beat Goku. So he takes the powers to basically allow him to win. He wants victory. He doesn't. He's a man of pride. He doesn't want somebody. He doesn't want to think somebody can outbeat him or outbest him. So it's more of a power grab thing than it is really to just like destroy the world or something like that. Frieza I wouldn't count as lovable villain, so I guess I'll move on to another one I was going to mention. If anybody's ever seen Miraculous Ladybug, yes, I know, I'm 30 and I'm watching kids stuff, who cares? Anyway, from Miraculous Ladybug, the main villain is called Hawkmoth, played by the wonderful Keith. Well, I say Keith Silverstein, but I think it's meant to be pronounced Silverstein. Anyway, he's a legend. So Hawkmoth, being is actually the dad of Cat Noir slash Adrian, and what's so great about him being a lovable villain is that you see why he's got this malicious intent behind taking the miraculous jewels was granted wish to bring back his wife. It's actually quite a good little story when you actually get into it. So that's another person I'd count as a lovable villain because, like, you see a more human side of him. He's not just, oh yeah, I'm just going to be a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. Like he's got a reason, a true reason to do what he wants to do. Another very popular lovable villain is of course Dio Brando from JoJo's, or as some people might just know him, Dio, because in the part 1, Phantom Blood, he's just Dio Brando because his father is I think his father's called something like, I think it's close to Marlon Brando, but I think he's like got a spoof name close to it. But anyway, he changes to be called just Dio by the time Stardust Crusaders kicks in. He's just cool. He's a vampire. He's got charisma. He's got ambition. There's just something about when you see Dio, from the moment you see him in the first episode of Phantom Blood, he literally throws, back when you see young Dio, he literally throws his suitcase out of the stagecoach. He literally throws his belongings and just flings himself. Why did I move my hand like you can see me? He flings himself out of this carriage and he just lands with style. It's like cool factor. So he's definitely amongst the lovable villains because, like, he's just got so much going on. Which is also true by the time that Stardust Crusaders kicks around, because he then has his stand, the world, or as the meme goes, Zoardo. But you know, the guy that voices Dio in the original Japanese dub is just absolutely fantastic. He also plays a couple of other people like Phoenix Riser from High School DxD, and he plays Shinigami's dad in Kaguya. So he's pretty cool. A lot of the Nintendo villains, I'd also say, are pretty lovable, like Bowser and Ganondorf. Like, they've just got this level of... Their love is more that it's more like an iconography thing. Like, you see him and you're like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, any game where you got Bowser as like a mainline Mario platformer, like Sunshine, 64, Galaxy, you're like, yes, go Bowser. Because he's just along to capture the princess as usual. But the princess definitely has Stockholm syndrome, so that's kind of on her why he keeps coming. A lot of people love Voldemort. I don't class him as a lovable villain. Like, there's got to be something cool, or something that draws you to the villain. Whereas I don't see any of that in Voldemort. There was someone else who I was going to cover as well. Actually, there's quite a few. My head is currently spacing out. I don't write things down. I'm just thinking, oh, I want to do this. And so it is. Oh, I was going to discuss... So, a lot of the fighting games have... 3%. So, a lot of the fighting games have villains where... If I was to do another video, I think I'd talk about Shao Kahn for sure. And... M. Bison. But they're not lovable villains, they're more spammy, annoying villains. But lore-wise, in the Tekken series, Heihachi Mishima is definitely a lovable villain. And and by that admission, probably Kazuya Kazama as well, because he's not a Kazuma, sorry, he's a Mishima. Kazuya Mishima and Heihachi, for sure. Because they've got the story is that them two and Jin, because Kazuma's like a second removed generation or something of the Mishima. And they're always at war. So a lot of the when you win the arcades with Heihachi, you get he throws a defeated Jin off the ledge and stuff like that. And Heihachi's also the bad guy in a lot of the people's ending credits, which is very strange considering he's the one that hosts the Iron Fist tournaments, i.e. the Tekken tournaments. So yeah. What else was there? Something's something's eating away at me. There were some other people I was going to talk about, but to be honest, I think that might be where I stop for now. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, take care. See ya.